Good morning. Welcome to it's a gentle flow, deep stretch, a little bit, I'll explain some things, some standing postures to balance, all that kind of stuff today. But nice and stretchy and chill, right? So no worries there. You might have a couple of blocks, you might have a strap. We'll move into all of that piece by piece. And we're going to start off in a seated position today. So if you want to start up your playlist, I'm going to use Y6S under my Spotify. So sit up nice and tall, root your sits bones down into the ground, let your spine lengthen and your vertebrae stack one on top of the other like a staircase. And then eventually you kind of roll your shoulders back and down, lift your chest and let your collarbones open. Draw the low part of your belly in and up so you're supporting your lumbar spine even as you're in the seated position. Maybe roll your shoulders forward and backward a couple of times. Kind of get into that space. Oof. And then you can go forward, right? Good, y'all. And then you can just be still for a moment. Let your shoulders soften back and down. The crown of your head reaches high. If it feels all right to you to close down your eyes, I invite you to do so. If that doesn't jive with you, you're just going to gaze softly to a point right in front of you. I'm going to invite you here to really make a commitment to step out of everything that's going on around us, right? You are doing the best thing you can possibly do for yourself right now, which is to step on your mat, to breathe, to disconnect from the rest of the world. Give yourself this hour. I like to remind y'all frequently that self-care, and it's not always the bubble baths and all of that. That stuff's great too. I'm all about it. But sometimes it's also the hard work that is your self-care, that is being disciplined enough to step on your mat or do your walk or do your jog, whatever it is that you do, consistently enough, because your self-care is a necessity, not a luxury, right? This is the only body we get this round, so we have to take care of it. And we do it in a way that as we get older, our quality of life stays good, right? Like that's why we're doing this, so that we can breathe freely, deeply, evenly, so that we can reach up in our 80s and take the cereal box off of the top shelf instead of, maybe not even being able to use that shelf, so that we can squat down and do what we need to do without feeling limited in our hips and our low back, right? So that's what this practice offers to us. So keep breathing here. Take a deep inhale. Let your spine lengthen. Let your belly maybe expand open. And exhale, soften down, release. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Now as you inhale, let the crown of your head reach. And on the exhale, take your chin down towards the notch in your throat. So you're going to feel a stretch down kind of the back of your neck. Allow for your shoulders to continue to roll back and down. Now, if you've got anything going on with your neck, like degenerative discs or anything like that, you might just leave the crown of your head lifted and turn your face side to side, right? All things being equal, neck feels healthy, your chin can come down. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, you roll your left ear towards your left shoulder, but keep lifting your chest. So notice if that made you kind of arch and round in your upper back. And just try not to do that. And then let your right shoulder soften down. Now in this space, you can kind of play around with lifting your chin, moving it back down until you find that spot that really gets a good stretch. And breathe into it. And then you take another inhale and exhale. On your inhale, bring your chin back down towards your throat. And then you exhale, roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Now watch your left shoulder if it tries to move up towards your left ear. You're stretching through your left side neck. Breathe. Close down your eyes, maybe. You have that same option to kind of wiggle your chin up and down until you find a great spot. And great means you're probably feeling a lot, right? It's okay. And just breathe. And then inhale, let your chin come back down towards your throat. And on your exhale, let the crown of your head reach back up. Now roll your shoulders back again. Now switch the cross of your ankles. So now you're going to bring the opposite ankle in front. It's going to probably feel awkward. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, fold over your legs and just walk your hands forward. Now you don't have to come down very far. Relax your shoulders back from your ears. Let your forehead kind of just reach down so the crown of your head is reaching away from your tailbone. Good, y'all. Let your neck be long, your shoulders relax. And then slowly walk your hands back so that you can bring your shoulders back over your hips. I'm going to have you bring your hands behind you just for a moment here. Roll your shoulders back and then arch your upper back. Let your chest reach up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Take another deep breath in. Zip your low belly in and up. And then slowly release as you breathe out. Now from here, I'm going to switch. I'm actually going to rock forward and come onto my knees and my shins. Now, if you already know that this is not going to feel good for you, you can skip it, right? But I'm going to bring the tops of my feet down. And this is a pretty deep stretch for the top of your feet and around your ankles probably. So it's okay if you just stay in a seated position, but if you can move here, it's like a supported hero's pose. I want you to move here if it's possible, right? So allow for your sit bones to kind of find your heels. Roll your shoulders back and down. Pull your belly in and up. And then as you inhale, open your arms out to a T. And on the exhale, cross your right arm underneath the left. Hug opposite shoulders. Or maybe you eagle up your arms and go palm to palm if that's naturally available to you, right? So don't force it. Don't move too quickly into that space. Just kind of move there. Notice how the rest of your body kind of shows up whenever you get here. And you breathe. Really start to feel how your breath opens up the back of your heart space, right? So I want you to focus on that area between your shoulder blades. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Now you can stay still and work your breath this way. Or you could kind of inhale, lift your elbows. It's an arching of your spine. And then exhale, tuck your elbows. So you're rounding now through your upper back. And then you inhale to lift and to arch. And exhale to round and to tuck. Do maybe 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Last 2. Last 1. Now on your inhale, come back into a neutral spine. Unravel your arms. Reach them out and up. On the exhale, drop your left hand down and reach your right arm up and over. Get a nice side body stretch. And then you inhale both arms to the sky. Exhale your right arm down. Your left arm reaches up and over. So now you're stretching through the left side of your body. Good. Now inhale, take both arms high. On the exhale, twist to the right. Let your right hand drop behind you. Your left hand finds the outer right hip, or right thigh, excuse me. And then you inhale back, front and center, reach tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Let your right hand come to your left thigh, your left hand behind your left hip, but you're nice and lifted, your shoulders over your hips. And then you inhale, come back to center, reach your arms high. On the exhale for a moment, bring your hands down, lift your hips, and roll out your ankles. And go ahead and do that in both directions. And then as you come back to that supported seated position, you're going to tuck your toes underneath you this time and bring your hips, your bottom back towards your heels. Now here's the deal. If this feels really intense, you're more than welcome to slide a block in between your bottom and your heels. It might feel nice. I have to typically slide my pinky toe out from underneath the fourth toe. It likes to kind of hide back there. So you move into the space that feels better to you, right? You can also use a bolster here instead of a block. So inhale, take your arms out to the side body. And then you exhale, cross your left arm under the right. You're going to hug opposite shoulders or go palm to palm for your eagle arms. This is definitely my tighter side, right? So I'm going to sit here for a moment and breathe into this space. It's okay if it feels different from one side to the next, y'all. So your sides of the body, they're sisters, not twins, right? So you can have a totally different life experience on one side of your body than you do on the other. So if this fits like a glove and you just think you want a little bit more, you really start to breathe deeply into that space between your shoulder blades, right? So you might start to feel it heat up. And then you can inhale, lift your elbows, lift your forearms. And then you exhale, round your upper back, let your elbows come in towards your navel maybe. Inhale to lift. And exhale to round. Got 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2. And 1. Now as you inhale, slowly lift back up, unravel, reach your arms up and over. Now on the exhale, you're a little bit higher if you're sitting on your block, so your left hand might not come all the way down. You could take your left hand to your left hip and then reach your right arm up and over. Maybe you gaze underneath your right tricep. If your bottom is down on your heels, your hand might come down to the ground, whatever works. And then you inhale, take both arms high. Exhale, your right hand comes down, either to your hip or to the ground. You bow out your left side body and you reach your left fingertips over towards the right side of the room. And then you inhale, take both arms high. And on the exhale, twist to the left. Drop your right fingertips to your left outer thigh. And then your left hand kind of comes behind you. If you're down closer to the ground, it comes to the ground. Otherwise, just take your left hand to the small of your back. And then you inhale, come right back front and center. And you exhale, twist open to the right. Let your left fingertips just kind of slide over your outer thigh. Now your right hand can come behind, kind of towards your sacrum. If you're without the block, your right hand might be down on the ground. It's all good. It's all valid. Yeah? And then you inhale, rotate back front and center. And then you exhale, bring your hands to the ground. If you've got your block, slide it off to the side. And let's find ourselves in a box pose. If you need to roll out your feet again or like wiggle your toes, I totally get it. It's all good. And then you're going to spread your fingers out wide. Press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And your knees are underneath your hips, and then you're kind of stacking your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Now on your inhale, let a soft belly drop down to the ground. Your heart presses between your upper arm bones. The eyes of your elbows are probably facing forward. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And then you exhale, reverse the movement. Take your navel to your spine. Dome out your upper back. Whew. Let the crown of your head hang down. And then you inhale, roll back through. Let your belly drop down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And then exhale, reverse your movement. Navel to your spine. Separate your shoulder blades. Let your head hang down, y'all. Let's take 3 more of these. Inhale your belly down. Exhale your belly up. Inhale to your cow pose. And exhale to your cat pose. You've got 1 more. Inhale. back into a neutral spine. Moving now into like that fluid, watery-like sensation with your body. I just want you to start to sway around. You're gonna feel kind of some movement through your shoulder girdle, maybe down through your hips. I've got this big old plant hanging out right here. I'm brushing into it on accident, so sorry about that. This can be as small or as big as you want it to be, right? So find that space. If you're going in full-on circles, eventually you've got to go in the opposite direction, right? So you lead with the other hip. Awesome, y'all. When you're satisfied and you're even from side to side, come back into this neutral spine. Now, some of you might have your hands on blocks for downward facing dog. So feel free to do that. If that's what's going to serve you in your body today, put your hands down onto your blocks. You're going to be about shoulder width distance apart. Curl up your toes. Take an inhale. Zip that little space between your navel and your pubic bone in and up. And then exhale. Lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Let your head hang down. Now, widen your stance if you need to, or like lengthen it, right? Press your palms down either into the ground or into your blocks. And then do me a favor, I'm gonna have you roll to the balls of your feet so that you can really kind of bend into your knees and then lift your tailbone to the sky so that you truly create that apex with your hinging at the hips, right? So your tail actually reaches towards the sky rather than tucking in, right? So lift that up and then maybe start to kind of wiggle around here. Feel that space out, swaying your hips side to side. Good, y'all. And I also kind of want you to roll through your shoulders in your down dog. Just move around, tuck your chin if you need to. So many times we get really rigid in the hips, in the shoulder girdle, all that kind of stuff, right? Especially in times of high stress and tension. And right now, that's where we're at, right? So shake it out, do what you gotta do, and then from your downward facing dog, I want you to inhale, bend your knees to look forward, and then on your exhale, slowly step your right foot outside of your right hand, your left foot outside of your left hand. Turn your heels and your toes out. Now you can sit on a block if this is ever more intense on your hips and your inner thighs than what you're kind of looking for today. Drop a block underneath your bottom. Lift your chest. Now, in this space, so Malasana, your yogic squat, your heels are in, your toes are out, but you want your knees to be pointing in the same direction as your toes. And then maybe your thumbs are pressing in towards your sternum, but your chest is still lifted, right? Now, if this creates a splitting sensation in your low back, like if it creates pain or tension or something weird, you're gonna release the tension from your triceps pressing in towards your inner thighs, right? Now, if everything feels great, the way to intensify this is to press in towards your inner thighs, your inner knee with your arms. But again, zip your low belly in and up, squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. So you get some active stretching, active flexibility, not passive, right? And I like to kind of just rock side to side for a second. And then again, just because I'm kind of tight in my neck and my traps today, I'm gonna sit right here for a moment, but I'm gonna release my right arm around the small of my back and just let my left shoulder, my left ear come down to my shoulder for a second. I'm gonna take it to the other side. You don't have to do that. I'm just letting you know kind of what I'm doing in case you start being like, what is going on over there? And then on the second side, your left forearm wraps around the small of your back and you drop your right ear down. Good, y'all. Now bring your hands back to heart center, your palms to the ground. Inhale to lift your hips. Now turn your toes to 12 o'clock. And then as you exhale, bend into your knees. So to release out of your low back here, you want your knees to be bent. Not a whole lot, but you know, as much as you need. And then drape your chest over your thighs and let your head hang down. You can grab onto opposite elbows. Let your forehead hang down. Sway side to side. And keep pressing down into all four corners of both feet. Let your belly draw in and up. Good, y'all. Now, if you wanted to, you could interlace your fingers and bring your hands to the nape of your neck. And let your elbows point down towards the ground. Tuck your chin. And really let your neck get long, your spine. Breathe. Take one more inhale. Now let your hands come down to the mat as you exhale. You're going to heel toe your feet together. Inhale, bring your fingertips towards your shins, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, drape yourself down, the crown of your head down, let it all go. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Take your time, roll your shoulders back and down. Reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, drop your left hand down and reach your right arm up and over. Bow out through the right side body, gaze underneath your right tricep. And then you inhale, take both arms high. And then exhale, drop your right hand down and take your left arm up and over. Keep your belly pulled in and up. If that bothers your low back, you take the top of your pubic bone and draw it up towards your navel. Then you inhale, both arms to the sky. And on the exhale, fold yourself down. Now we're going to do half sun salutation. So Ardha Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, melt yourself down. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, fold yourself down. Hinge at your hips, not your waist, to stay out of your low back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt yourself down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms high, gaze up. Exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, your crown forward, your tailbone back. Exhale, your chest to your thighs. Inhale, root to rise, all the way back up to extended mountain. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, bellies in, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your chest to your thighs. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, your hands to your heart. Last one. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back. When you're in your high plank, bring your knees down to the earth. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, soften all the way down to your belly. Let your chest come down, your forehead come down. Now your hands are outside of your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Your toenails, your pubic bones stay down. Zip your belly in and up. And then as you inhale, lift your chest. Bhujangasana, your cobra pose. And then exhale, melt yourself back down. Now I'm going to give you the option here to kind of take your hands out if you would like. So you can kind of get a little wider cobra if you want to. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And exhale, come down. If this is bothering your low back, just stay low. Last one, inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, melt yourself down. Bring your hands back in if they went wide. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Use your spinal muscles to lift you. And then exhale, press back, hips to your heels, Balasana. Child's pose. Reach your arms forward. Roll your forehead side to side. And as you breathe in, you know that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. Nice, y'all. You can bring your hands back towards your heels. Let your shoulders round forward. And then your hands are going to come back, reaching towards the top of your mat. Completely exhale. And then inhale, press up into your box pose. And exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, take a soft bend to your knees, look forward. And then exhale as many or as few steps as you need to get your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. And then soften your left knee down to the ground. Now you could have blocks on either side of your right foot if you choose. Find something that works for you. Your right knee is going to track your heel or your ankle. And then your left leg is a diagonal. So you're trying to get some stretch on the front side of your left leg, your quad and your hip flexor, your psoas. So make sure that you're catching a diagonal from your hip to your knee. And then when you're ready, inhale, Salamba Anjaneyasana. Take your arms up overhead. And then just kind of settle in for your exhale. You're going to squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. And then draw your navel in and up to support your lumbar spine. And keep breathing. Good. Kind of leveling out your hips. Perfect. Now with your inhale, your arms are up overhead. On the exhale, drop your right hand to your right hip. Now reach your left arm high. You've got to pull your low belly in to support your low back here. And on the exhale, just kind of reach your left fingertips up and over so you're stretching through the left side of your body. Good. And then at some point, your right hand might even reach towards the back, like your sacral area. Perfect. And then slowly reach both arms back to the sky. This is your inhale. On the exhale, it's an open arm twist to the right. So your right fingertips reach back, your left fingertips are reaching forward. Now, the belly is in and up. You're breathing here. Your gaze might even go towards your right shoulder. And you could drop your left hand to the outside of your right knee. You could take your right hand back towards your low back, your sacral area. Lengthen with your inhale. So feel like you're lifting up and out of your low back. And then you might twist just a little bit deeper as you exhale. Good, y'all. Just breathe. Perfect. Take one more inhale. Completely exhale. Now on your inhale, rotate back towards the front of your mat with your shoulders. As you exhale, drop your left hand down towards either your block or the ground. Now when you inhale, your right arm is going to reach up to the sky, kind of stacking your shoulders. Your gaze follows your right hand. And you might kind of swim out through your right arm if you want to get into your shoulder girdle, your rotator cuffs, You're going to go in both directions, right? Watch your right knee if it starts to splay open. Make sure you're breathing. All right, y'all. And when you're ready, take an inhale. And then exhale, let your right hand come down. Shift your hips back and straighten your right leg. Yeah. And then flex your right toes towards your shin. Perfect, y'all. So you want your second and your third toe to kind of be pointing towards the sky and then flexing all 5 toes back towards your shin. And then slide your navel towards your right thigh bone. Your hands can be on blocks on either side of your right leg. You pick. But really work your heart forward towards your right toes rather than rounding in your upper back. unless you're actively trying to kind of inhale cow spine, exhale cat spine. That's different, right? Otherwise, roll your shoulders back, long, strong spine, opening up through your right hamstring. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk this back forward with your inhale. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, and step back to downward facing dog as you exhale and pedal out your feet. Nicely done. And then from your inverted letter V, inhale, bend your knees to look forward. As many or as few steps as you need, exhale, take your feet to the top of your mat. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands down and step your right foot back. Soften your right knee down to the ground. Catching that diagonal from your right hip to your right knee. And then a 90-degree bend in your left knee. You're tracking your knee, your shin, your ankle. Take your time here. What helps with balance here when you're coming up, you could have your blocks, right, in their highest position. And just keep your hands down. But what helps to do it without hands is if you squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, even though they're not actually touching, and pull the pit of your belly in and up. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. And then it's kind of like you inhale, your shoulders will stack over your hips, and your arms come up over your head, right? And then you're here. Zip the belly in. Breathe. You're going to take an inhale. Reach your fingertips higher. On the exhale, your left hand comes down to your left hip. Now, reach your right arm up. This is your inhale. Exhale, round through the right side body. Take your right fingertips over towards the left. And now you're stretching. Relax your right shoulder from your ear. Breathe here. You could slide your left hand towards your sacrum if that feels more supportive to you, right? Just zip your low belly in and up. Breathe. And when you're ready, completely exhale. On the inhale, take both arms back to the sky. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Your right fingertips reach forward, your left fingertips reach back. You might even gaze towards your left shoulder, right? Breathe. And at some point, your right hand might slide to the outside of your left knee. Your left hand could come back to your sacrum. You're kind of opening a little bit more through your left shoulder and your clavicle. But you gotta pull your belly in. And maybe you gaze towards the back of your mat. You got this. Completely exhale. On the inhale, rotate this back. Shoulders kind of towards the front of your mat. And then as you exhale, drop your right hand down, maybe towards the ground, maybe towards your block. And then you inhale, float your left arm up to the sky. Watch your right shoulder, your right elbow. And remember, you can circle this out through your left shoulder if you want, right? Just make sure you go in both directions. Good, y'all. Very, very nice. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop your left hand down. Shift your hips back. You're going to feel that a lot on your right hip maybe. Flex your left toes, straighten your left leg. And take your half split. It's okay if your knee is really bent here, right? So what you don't want to feel is anything around your left kneecap, the insertion points, or your gluteal fold where your glutes and your hamstring connect. You're really trying to feel this in the meat of your hamstring, the belly of the muscle. So keep breathing. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. Again, unless you're working something particular through your spine, then you have a straight spine, as straight as possible. Heart forward, belly in and up, and you're breathing. Good, y'all. Now when you're ready, completely exhale. Inhale, walk yourself forward. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, And then exhale, step your left foot back. You're in your downward facing dog. Now inhale, come down to your knees. And then as you exhale, shift forward slightly so that you can come all the way down to your belly once more. So from here, and we're gonna do the left side first so that you can see my arm. You're gonna take your left arm out like a cactus, right? It's like half cactus. You want your humerus, your upper arm bone, your shoulder, and your elbow in the same line. And then your left hand, the palm face down. Take your left ear down to the mat. Your right hand is just outside of your right side chest. Now you're gonna bend your right knee, press down into your right palm, and roll over and drop your right foot behind your left and stretch through your left arm, your shoulder, your armpit. You might have to slide your arm to the left slightly so that you get into that space. Breathe here. Now slowly bring your hips back down to the ground. Unravel your right leg and bring your right leg to the ground as well. You're right back on your belly. We're just going to switch sides. Bring your left hand back outside of your chest. You might have to roll the shoulder out. And then your right arm becomes that half cactus. Your right shoulder, your upper arm bone, and your elbow are in a straight line. And then your right arm is bent so that your forearm is a straight line with your elbow. It's like a 90-degree bend. Bring your right ear down to the ground. And then you're gonna slowly press down into your left palm. Lift your left leg, bend it, slide it behind you. Ooh, goodness. So the bent arm variation of this, right? A lot of times we do it with a straight arm. The straight arm, I feel next to nothing when we do this stretch. The bent arm, I feel everything. You're gonna feel it more in your rib cage. Breathe into it. Relax your face, your brows, your jaw. Take one more inhale. And then slowly come back, unravel. You're onto your belly, your hips. Slide both arms outside of your chest. Roll your shoulders. Inhale to lift your chest. And then exhale, press your hips back. Bring your knees and your thighs together this time. And drape your chest on top of your legs and bring your forehead down. Breathe here for a second. Maybe you take your hands back down by your feet. Round through your upper back as you drape yourself over your knees and your thighs. And then when you're ready, inhale, press up into your box pose. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. It's the last little bits of standing stuff. So take an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. And then exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, let yourself hang completely down. And then come all the way up to standing with your inhale. Arms up, look up. And then hands to heart center as you exhale. All right. So here's your balance work for today, right? So you're going to stand, root down into the four corners of your right foot. So you want that to become your base. Now, you've got some options here. You can bend your left knee and bring your heel towards your glute. And you can reach your left hand back and catch your ankle. So you're stretching your left quad while at the same time challenging your balance, right? If you want to go just a little bit deeper, it's your gentle practice today, so kind of know what that means for you. Your right arm can reach up to the sky, right? So your right upper arm is right next to your ear, your temple. And then you could, if you wanted to, hinge forward and reach your right fingertips forward. You're kicking your left ankle into your left hand, spinning your left inner thigh towards the right inner thigh. Zip your low belly in and up. And then you inhale, slowly come back up. And then you exhale to release. Roll out for your back if you need to. And then root down into the four corners of your left foot. We're just going to take our balance to the other side. So fire all of that up. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. And then you bend your right knee. Use your hamstring to draw your heel towards your glute. Once that happens, you might reach your right hand down and catch your ankle or the arch of your foot, right? And then you want your knees to your right knee to hang down. You could stay right here. If this is enough balance practice for you, stay. If you want to take your left arm up towards the sky, you zip your low belly in and up. And then you might hinge at your left hip, reach your left fingertips forward, and kick your right foot into your right hand. Your gaze is just kind of maybe down towards the top of your mat or slightly in front of. You want your neck to be a natural extension of your spine. Breathe. Now completely exhale. Inhale to bring your shoulders back over your hips. And then exhale, let your right foot come down and your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. And then exhale, fold yourself down. Let your hands come down to the ground. Now you might have a block here. Making an equilateral triangle with your feet and your block or your hand, right? Whatever it is that's down on the ground. Now take a bend into both knees. Wiggle out your hips. Let your right hand come down to the ground. Now take your left hand to the small of your back. So you want your hips to stay level and square. And then you slowly start to stack your left shoulder on top of the right without getting wonky in the low body. And then reach your left arm to the sky. Get a little twist here. One more inhale. And then exhale, let your left hand replace your right hand. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Take your right hand to the small of your back. Zip your belly in and up. And then you start to stack your right shoulder on top of the left and your right hand reaches up to the sky. You breathe. Take an inhale. And exhale, ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows. Bend your knees so that you're really hinging at your hips and not your waist. And then maybe you sway side to side. And then slide your block out from in front of you. Bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale, take a halfway lift. And then exhale, bring your hands to the earth. Step your left foot back and soften your left knee down to the ground. Heel toe your right foot to the left. Slide your left leg nice and long. Now you're going to flex both feet. Well, not both feet, the right foot, unless you're down on your back. And then let your left hip get heavy. Take a moment here. Inhale, lift your chest and pull your heart forward. And then exhale, melt yourself down. So in your half pigeon, you can let your torso really drape on your right leg, or you can reach your arms forward, out, or back. And breathe. Now, if this doesn't feel great, you can always do a reclined pigeon on your back, or Agni Stambhasana, your double pigeon, fire log. going to slide your hands back underneath your chest so that you can inhale, lift yourself up. Now as you exhale, you're going to rock over to the right and swim your left leg in front of you. But I'm going to have you actually switch and take your right leg long and bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. So Janushirshasana A. On your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So the left foot is pressing into the right inner thigh. Your left knee is open. And on your exhale, drape yourself over your right thigh. Now you could have your strap here looped around your right foot. You don't have to take hands all the way to your foot. Let your navel slide towards your right thigh bone. So this is your right hamstring, your left hip, and the low back on the left side. Let this really work for you. As you move into these stretches, when you're breathing in, you know that you're breathing in. When you breathe out, you know that you're breathing out. So stay connected to what's happening here. Now completely exhale. And then as you inhale, walk yourself back up. Now lift your left knee. And then I'm going to have you cross your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. But let your left hip stay heavy. Flex your right foot. Now your left hand is behind your left hip. Inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. And then exhale, twist to the left. Now you can hug your left knee in with your right arm. Or you can slide your elbow to the outside of your left thigh and turn your gaze to the left. Whew. Breathe. It's all good. Good, y'all. Now completely exhale. As you inhale, turn your gaze forward. And then on your exhale, slowly release. Now from here, just bring your left shin back to the ground, roll to the left, and slide your right knee back. So you're coming into your half pigeon on the left side. If you hated that transition, you can do any other transition to get into your half pigeon. Some people need to come back into down dog, so you do what you need, right? I'm going to meet you right here with my right leg long and my left knee bent, my left foot flexed, shin forward. Once you're there, let your right hip feel heavy, like it's pulling gravitationally to the ground. Inhale to lift your chest and pull your heart forward. Zip your belly in. And then you exhale, fold down. Now if you're taking your double pigeon, you're going to slide your right shin on top of the left. If you're on your back, you're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee. And hug your right thigh in. Alright, y'all, slide your hands back. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, roll slightly to the left. Bring your right leg forward, but then you're going to switch legs. So now you're going to extend your left leg long. Bring the sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. With your inhale, reach your arms overhead, and as you exhale, drape yourself down over your left leg. Relax your shoulders back and down. Flex your left foot. You can use your strap here around the ball mound, or just hands down next to your left leg if they're not at the foot. It's all good. Allow for your left hamstring, your right hip, and your low back on the right side to really feel the benefit of doing this, right? And then you completely exhale. And then you inhale, lift your gaze, slowly walk yourself back up. Lift your right knee and then cross your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Your right hand is behind your right hip, and then you inhale, lift your left arm high. Exhale, twist to the right. Either hug your right knee in or slide your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. But lengthen your spine. Your gaze goes over your right shoulder. Keep pressing actively into the inner arch of your right foot. Breathe. From here, inhale to look forward. And then exhale to release. If you need a counter twist on this side, take your hands over to the left to come back through center. Extend both legs long out in front of you now. And on your inhale, go ahead and bend your knees, but reach your arms high. And then exhale, drape your chest over your thighs. Relax your shoulders back and down, Paschimottanasana. Just for a second, just a little release. And then slowly come back up. And then you're going to come down one vertebra at a time. You might bring a block with you. And bring your feet underneath your knees. If you have a block, I'm going to have you take a supported bridge. You're more than welcome to take a traditional regular bridge pose. I'm going to bring my feet to the ground, lift my hips, and slide my block underneath my low back, and then rest it back down. You might have to kind of find your space, right? Because you don't want it like right in the center of your low back with your bottom hanging off. That's a little uncomfortable. You got to find that space where you're supported right there around the sacrum. And then just breathe here. Relax your brows. If you're in your traditional bridge, you'll probably stay for about 3 to 5 breaths and then bring your bottom down. If you're in your supported bridge, we're going to eventually move into a supported waterfall. So without a block, you'll just bring your hips down, hug your knees in towards your chest for a reset. Bring your feet down and then meet us in waterfall. If you have your block underneath your hips, you're going to take your right leg up to the sky, followed by your left. Try to stack your knees, ankles over your hips. Breathe. It's a great place to close down your eyes if you're ready for that. And if you're in supported waterfall, 1 foot at a time, bring your feet back down to the ground. Inhale, lift your hips and slide the block underneath you. And then exhale. We're all going to meet with our hips and our feet down on the ground. Windshield wiper your knees side to side for just a moment. And then you'll come back to center as you inhale. Find a happy baby as you exhale. Peace fingers to the big toes. Let your low back stay rooted to the mat. Relax your shoulders. Take one more inhale right here. Exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up to your knees. Take one more inhale. And exhale to Shavasana. Extend your legs forward. If you have a bolster and you want to slide it under your knees so that doesn't bother your low back as you rest, do that. You could also take blocks underneath. Relax your shoulders back and down. You can close your eyes. This is your rest, so enjoy it. Let your body feel heavy. And relax and reset here. Put your knees to be here a little bit longer. You're going to stay right where you are, not move a muscle. Otherwise, you begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You inhale, reach your arms kind of like luxuriously overhead, right? It's that first morning stretch as you inhale. And then you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins. And roll over to the right. You'll gently press yourself up into a comfortable, easy sit just right where you are. Sukhasana, cross your legs. The same way we started class today, our practice. I want you to sit nice and tall. How you do anything is typically how you do everything. So end your practice with the same amount of integrity that you started with. Take that final moment, that pause. Be grateful for your body, what it does for you today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. Take a deep breath in, and then a really honest exhale. Thank you all so much for putting in the work today. I see you. I appreciate you. Namaste.